Hi guys, so I got an interesting review today for you, and interesting because it's a fragrance that's not well known. This came to my attention a couple months ago when somebody mentioned it in one of their comments. It's Parfum de Marly's Byerley. I think they mentioned it in my vetiver, best vetivers video, because this has a note of vetiver. And if you're searching for this fragrance, then you might kind of look for it as a vetiver fragrance. But actually, as we'll get into, this is predominantly a woody fragrance, and so it's important to remember that. And so if you like, this is going to appeal to people who really like woody scents. And then I think, to me, the vetiver is really plays a supporting role. But we'll get into the scent. And as a side note, I haven't made any videos in the last week or so because I've been away spending some time in the outdoors, which was really nice. And just want to mention my the fragrance that I took for vacation, which was Raja's Elysium. Really, it's not the first time that I took it for vacation, but really amazing scent. You guys should definitely kind of try it out for whenever you're on vacation. I love the uplifting quality of that scent. I took a decant of it. Now let's get on to the review of Byerley. So this is a really interesting fragrance, and I got it a couple months ago, but I wanted to give it enough time to really understand, the composition, to really understand the scent. It's a very simple composition if you look at the notes, but it is unique. The reason it's unique is so it combines woody notes and vetiver with cardamom, and I don't know, off the top of my head, other fragrances that do that, but even if they did, they don't do it in this way where it smells like this. This is quite unique. On Fragrantica, one of the comments sort of described this scent as being the perfect scent for a lumberjack, essentially, and I have to agree with that. I think that's really the best way to describe this scent. It's a really outdoorsy kind of scent. I would opt to wear it in the fall, although I have been wearing it in the summer, and it is fine in the high heat, but it really shines in the fall and in outdoor settings, or for dressed up occasions. There's this kind of refined quality about this. I'm wearing it right now, but let me give it another spray just to remind me of the notes. Yeah. So this is a really unknown kind of Marley fragrance, at least to me it was. So the most important thing is, like I mentioned in the beginning, this is primarily a woody fragrance. It's gonna be for those people who like very authentic woody scents that are earthy. There's what you're gonna get most of is a lot of bitterness and a slight smokiness as well. So the entire heart is composed of cedar and gaiac wood, and every time I've seen gaiac wood used, it really adds a smoky character, different from incense. And in this case, and in other fragrances that use gaiac wood, sometimes it gives off this roasted coffee type of scent. There's no coffee scent here, but it's that kind of combination of slight sweetness with a roasted feel and a smokiness. And it's going to feel quite bitter, and that's where this is going to throw some people off. But I do think that it's a very wearable fragrance, because when you first try this out, you might think that it doesn't perform so well and that it's too close to the skin. But actually, if you give it a chance, it's one of those scents that feels very reserved, and that's why I say it works so well for kind of dressed up occasions where you want to be really refined, you want to give up that classy feel. It has a classy feel to it, but so it's reserved, but it projects because of the richness of the ingredients, and you'll find that it's long lasting. And actually, with one or two sprays on my arm, I was smelling it just as I was walking, and so you're getting a fair bit of projection there. So it's a scent that's gonna be present. Now, whether you like it or not, that's sort of subjective. I don't think it's a really mass appealing kind of scent. Like I said, very woody scent. Now with cedar, a lot of times cedar sort of I've seen used in fragrances that smell very clean. Now in here, as I said in the beginning, this is a very earthy, woody fragrance. And so I would say the kind of bigger player here is the Gaiac wood rather than the cedar. But overall, a very woody fragrance. Now, the vetiver here plays a role certainly, but it's not sort of the star in my opinion. The vetiver accentuates this dry feel. So it's going to be very, very dry feeling. And then, you know, we get into the uniqueness of the scent, which is really the cardamom. I really haven't smelled something like this where it blends cardamom with such strong kind of, you know, dense woody notes like this. And this also is sitting on top of an amber accord, so you're gonna get some sweetness that's there the whole time. And part of the sweetness is coming from this cardamom. It gives this kind of nutty sweetness that goes really well with the woody accord. But again, the main things you got to know, you know, in the end, this is going to give you a really smoky, really dry, and also bitter feel. And the cardamom, though, kind of balances it with a little bit of sweetness, but still a very smoky kind of fragrance. Yeah, very, very natural smelling, authentic smelling. It's as if, you know, you really chop the wood in half and you're smelling it directly. Not much added to it. It's not a complicated scent, but very, very intense, rich smelling fragrance that's smooth at the same time. Now, cardamom I've always found to be an interesting note because it smells a little bit different depending on the accompanying notes. And in here, you do get a spiced element. So in addition to the smokiness, you're going to get a bit of a spicy feel. And actually, there's a bit of this kind of Christmassy feel to this scent. And that's why I say it's going to be better for colder weather, better for fall, ideally. It has this Christmassy feel because cardamom, you know, it sort of smells like a spiced drink. And of course, in this case, a bit like chai, not like your sweetened chai lattes, but really, you know, really authentic chai tea, right? That sort of chai, of course, utilizes cardamom as one of the many spices. And so it has, because of the sweetness and because of the spiciness from the cardamom, you get a little bit of this kind of, you know, chai-like, you know, tea-like feel, along with the smokiness. Overall, grassy, earthy, and a bit nutty and sweet at the same time. And I think on the official Parfum Byerley website, you know, they'll list the base note as balsam. There is that kind of resinous element that you know, this all of this kind of sits on, and so there is going to be that sweetness. So there is an amber accord. So this is going to appeal to people who like either very, very woody scents or amber fragrances. So if you like amber, you'll also like this scent. It sort of kind of appeals to the same audience because of the intensity and because of this kind of rich quality about it, this sweetness. Yeah, so overall also very long lasting. I mean, I put on 2 sprays the morning, and it's you know, about 7:30, and it's still present. Of course, I reapplied it, but very, very nice scent. I don't think that you know, you need a full 100 ml bottle. If there is a big price difference, I would actually go for a 50 ml bottle because it's not one of those everyday fragrances. It is really nice, and I think that it's worth the money. The reason I bought it was because I got a good deal on this full size 4.2 ounce. It's actually, I guess, 125 ml, but 4.2 ounce bottle. But in terms of occasions, you know, I don't see it as sort of an everyday scent. Just once in a while when you're either outdoors or when you want to kind of feel a little bit dressed up or want something different and something not, you know, the opposite of sweet, right? Opposite of your sort of sweet citrusy fragrances, this is the way to go. What's interesting is that there are no aromatic notes, right? And so that's actually why I think this is unique. In addition to the use of cardamom, the way they do it here, if you look there are no aromatic notes listed. You know, it's really a scent that you think it does sit close to the skin, but like I said, because of the intensity and the richness of the ingredients, it's gonna project, but it doesn't project the same way that things, you know, scents like ambroxan or geranium, those types of notes project. It has a different quality, right? Very, very woody scent. Really nice, and I would recommend it for sort of, I don't think that it actually smells old. I just think that, you know, a young person could certainly wear it, but I think that this will appeal to people who a little bit more aged noses, so a little bit more experienced, and they're looking for something different. It's not a mass appealing scent. I think a lot of people will find this a bit bitter, and that's really the downside of this scent. But otherwise, a really overlooked kind of gem from the house. If you're looking for a vetiver scent, you know, this is not sort of your prototypical vetiver fragrance, in my opinion, that draws out really the vetiver. This is more about the woods. You know, when I think of vetiver, I think of like Frederic Malle's Vetiver Extraordinaire, which, you know, is more pure in that sense, but this one is more about the woodiness. So if that appeals to you, you know, this lumberjack aura, then I would try this fragrance out. Try it out. Don't I wouldn't blind buy this just because of how expensive Marley fragrances are, and I would try it, but I do think that because it is cheaper than things like Leighton, based on popularity, you know, I think that this is worth a try, because you may end up really loving it if you like this sort of scent profile. All right, so that's my review for you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.